I don't think there's one person who better exemplifies the social responsibility that we have better than Anne.
She's been very inspirational to me as a way to live your life and make a difference, but also live your life with, she has a lot of courage, just personal courage.
I was one of the only children in our family who had the opportunity to go on and finish high school and go to college. I mean, when I was born, I had 5 siblings who were in World War II. I mean, they were much older than I was, and it was a totally different scenario. I'd always wanted to be a physician. I don't know where that comes from. There's nobody else in my family who is a physician or even in the medical field or anything, but I always wanted to be a doctor. And so after I graduated from physiotherapy and worked for a year, I sort of sat down and said, this is crazy. I really do want to go to medical school.
Which makes her very unusual as a female person training in medicine, which is a male-dominated career at that time. So she stood out already.
It truly was a life-changing experience. And so I spent 3 months in Uganda in the pediatric program at that time. The first 4 weeks, I just was walking around with my eyes hanging out of my head. I mean, there were wards full of kids with measles, you know, 5 to a bed. Just unbelievable suffering with diseases that our kids didn't even have anymore, you know. And I think it made me realize what a privileged life we live. And I mean, I come from a pretty poor family background. I mean, poor in sense of monetary poverty, not any other kind of poverty. And yet nothing compared to what these people put up with every single day. When I was in Uganda in 1986, there was a child on the ward, a baby, newborn, and nobody to look after her.
The security guard came running up with this baby. Said, can you take her? Because she'll die if we leave her here. She's not going to make it over the weekend. No, there's nobody here to look after her.
At the end of the weekend, I knew I wasn't going to take her back. And my niece Brenda was with me at that time. So between the two of us, we looked after Danielle while her social worker was looking for a foster home for her. I actually had her at the house of this person that she was going to go to. And I just looked at her and looked at the place and just said, I'm not leaving her here. She's actually the first child ever allowed out of Uganda with a non-East African. In the meantime, we had moved from Memphis, moved to work in the pharmaceutical industry in California, and then moved here to Seattle. We had just an unbelievable drug go through clinical trials for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, and it's one of the most successful drugs that's ever been developed. I started thinking about, what do I want to do with this sort of, in my mind, almost undeserved money that, had sort of come to me just because of my job, basically.
She really dedicated her whole life to the female children in Uganda after that. She set up a charity organization which not only educates young girls in Uganda, but also provides them with medical care.
We support girls to go to schools that are already there. This has since expanded from 40 girls in 2 schools. We now have had over 350 girls at 4 schools. We made it part of the community so that if concern for the girl child disappeared tomorrow, the community would still be able to run these programs.
But I think her story really shows how one person can make a difference for something that you believe in. And I think, as I said, she's really an inspiration for not just us within the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry, but also for, I think, the university and the community abroad.